Second grade friends, I am back with virtual social studies and we are studying again ancient Greece and the Olympics. This is the book that we're going to be using for a little bit. It's a Magic Treehouse book and it's a fact tracker because we know Jack and Annie are fact trackers. So chapter 2 is going to talk about the religion of Greece. We learned about the two main city-states, Sparta and Athens. We learned that Sparta was a city that really practiced and trained for fighting, and they had warriors. And Athens was more of a city that celebrated the art and the music and the science and all the beautiful things about Greece. It was named after the goddess Athena, and they were more of a cultured people, and they were rivals, which means they were big enemies with with Sparta. So Athens and Greece were big rivals, and all they wanted to do was fight each other. So a few things they had in common to review from our lesson yesterday was that they both spoke Greek, they both had great pride in their country, and they both worshiped the gods. One of them had a democracy. Do you remember which one? Remember, a democracy is when you have the right to vote. That would be Athens. And Sparta did not have a democracy. They were ruled by two kings, so those kings told them what they needed to do. So the two city-states, even if they were in the same country, has things that were similar and had things that were different. So today's focus is on religion. I'm going to show you the picture before I begin. Religion was a big part of Greek life. Greeks worshipped many different gods. They imagined the gods looked and acted like humans, but with special powers. They told stories about the gods' adventures. These stories were called myths. The Greeks believed there were 12 major gods. They thought these gods lived on top of the tallest mountain in Greece. It was called Olympus. The Greeks believed the gods lived happy lives on Olympus. Everyone thought they rested all day and ate wonderful food called ambrosia. People believed the gods punished them when they were angry. To please the gods, people honored them with gifts and prayers. Families often had altars in their house. They prayed to their favorite gods for protection. They had things called temples. The Greeks built temples for the gods. Temples were often the largest buildings in ancient Greece. Many were very beautiful. Each temple had a statue of a god inside of it. Some temple statues were 40 feet tall. That's as tall as a school bus standing on end. Sometimes the statues were covered with gold and ivory. So I'm going to show you the temple of Hephaestus in Athens, and the bottom statue is the statue of Athena. Remember, Athena is where they got from the goddess here. They named Athens, and here's a picture of a temple. Lots of columns, lots of architectural detail. They believed in the beauty of their buildings. Festivals. The Greeks held festivals to honor the gods. A festival was such an exciting event. People often traveled to the festival from miles away. They walked to the temple in lines called processions. They brought food, animals, and other gifts to offer the gods. When they arrived, they sometimes washed the temple statue. Then they put new clothes on it. Festivals often included sporting events. Greeks believed sports honored the gods. People also danced and made music. They believed all these things made the gods happy. People often carried their offerings of wool and fruit in baskets or hung them from branches. Sometimes men and women had separate festivals. Here's Jack and Annie, and they're wearing an outfit very similar to our read-along for ancient Rome. Can you see the similarities in their cloak and their sandals? And then you can see on this page, you can see all the people coming for a festival, like a big gathering, like a giant party, to celebrate the gods. The Greeks believed in the gods, and they knew that the gods had power, and they were a little afraid of the gods. They wanted to make sure that they always pleased them, so the gods would bless them and give them good crops and good weather and health and family. Zeus. Zeus was ruler of the gods. He was god of the sky, clouds, and rain. When Zeus was angry, he hurled thunder and bolts of lightning down to earth. Zeus rewarded people who pleased him. But if someone made him mad, watch out. One of Zeus's enemies was named Atlas. Zeus made Atlas hold up the sky on his back forever. And Atlas is also the name for a book of maps. Zeus's wife was Hera, but he fell in love with many other women. He always tried to hide his other loves from Hera. The Greeks believed that when the oak leaves rustled, Zeus was talking. So when the oak leaves on a tree shook back and forth, they rustled, they believed that Zeus was talking. If you notice from the word Atlas, when it said that Zeus had an enemy named Atlas and that he made him hold up the sky on his back forever, well, an atlas is a map. So technically they're kind of looking at different things in different places in the country and in the world underneath the sky. So a lot of things that we use today, a lot of words that we use today, came from ancient Greece. Hera. Hera was the goddess of marriage and married women. She was very jealous of Zeus's girlfriends. Their fights made the heavens shake. Hera never forgave the women Zeus fell in love with. She spent all her time getting even with them. One time, Hera was looking for Zeus. She thought he was with his girlfriends. She was distracted by a beautiful girl named Echo. Echo was laughing and chattering. As Echo talked, the girls managed to slip away. Hera got very angry at Echo. She forbade her ever to speak her own thoughts. Instead, poor Echo could only repeat the last words someone said to her over and over again. The word echo comes from this myth. So when you're in a tunnel or you're across a big pond or a big lake, and if you shout something across, if you say hello, you hear hello come back to you. That's called an echo. So that's where the echo comes from. It's believed that Hera cursed Echo, that she couldn't speak any more of her own words, and only had to repeat her last word, which if we yell in a tunnel, that would be our words. Poseidon. Zeus had a brother named Poseidon. He was the god of the seas. Poseidon lived in a palace under the sea. He always carried a trident. When he was angry, he would hit the water with it. This caused terrible earthquakes, storms, and drownings. In one myth, Poseidon got angry when the Greeks lost a war. The soldiers tried to return to Greece on ships, but Poseidon sent a huge storm over the ocean, and the storm wrecked all the ships. Sailors always thanked Poseidon when their seas were calm. So here's Poseidon. There is his weapon. A trident, which is what his weapon is here. A trident is a three-pronged spear. Aphrodite. Oh, Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty. Some myths say she came from the foam of the sea. Aphrodite was so charming that no one could resist her. Flowers sprang up when she walked through the fields. The waves laughed when she passed by. Aphrodite is always shown with a smiling face. But she caused problems among the gods, too. She made them fall in love with her when they shouldn't. Her special bird was the dove, and her tree was the myrtle. Aphros means foam in Greek. So if she came from the foam or the Aphros of the sea, that's why they named her Aphrodite. She was supposed to be the most beautiful and the most loved goddess of all. Athena. Athena was Zeus's daughter. She was one of his favorite children. He let her carry his shield. Athena was the goddess of wisdom and the arts. She was also the goddess of war. But Athena's main job was as protector of Athens. Poseidon had wanted Athens for himself. Athena got the city instead. Poseidon was angry. He sent a huge flood, but Athena refused to give the city up. It is also said that Athena tamed the first horses. The owl was her favorite bird, and the olive tree her special tree. So Athena was born in full armor out of Zeus's head. So because Poseidon was mad, remember Poseidon was the god of the sea, because he was mad that he couldn't have Athens, he probably hit his trident into the water and sent this huge wave. But Athena 1 over, and that's why we remember from when we learned about Athens. That's where Athens gets its name, from Athena. Phoebus Apollo. Zeus was also the father of Phoebus Apollo. Phoebus means shining and bright in Greek. Phoebus Apollo was usually just called Apollo. Apollo was a beautiful god with shining golden hair. He was the god of the sun, healing, music, and poetry. Apollo carried a silver bow and raced his chariot across the sky. He often played music for the gods on his golden lyre. And a lyre is this, it's a harp-like instrument. The dolphin, wolf, swan, and crow were Apollo's favorite animals. The laurel was his special tree. So if you notice, the gods were very powerful, but they also had things that they wanted to possess. They each had their favorite animal or animals, and they each had either a special flower or a special tree. So that is religion. I'll quickly go back through the names. So Phoebus Apollo is Zeus's son. Athena is Zeus's daughter. Aphrodite was the goddess of love and beauty. Poseidon was the god of the sea. Don't make him mad or else your ship will never get back to port. Hera was the goddess of marriage and woman, and she was Zeus's wife. And then, of course, Zeus himself. So Zeus was really the ruler. You can see he has this lightning bolt that he could send into the air and cause such storms and such havoc. So Zeus was really the king of all the gods, and he was the ruler. And he had children, and he had minions that would answer to him, kind of like a king has followers. Zeus was kind of the king of the gods. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed the story. And I told you that the gods are really, really interesting. And eventually we're going to dig a little bit deeper into them and learn a bit more. So this is our little introduction. Okay, second grade friends, hope you enjoyed it. Bye.